Yeah, they see me on top and they get mad cause they can't top me. Got me running up the skull when they even matter cause they can't stop me. Yeah, they see I'm trying to watch me and they trying to copy and it's looking sloppy. Yeah, we about to get it poppin', talking non-stop, can I get a copy? Yeah, they see me on top and they getting mad cause they can't top me. Got me running up the skull when they make money, then you take money, take money.
Hello and welcome back to KSB TV YouTube channel. Back again on a Monday. How was you guys this weekend? I know mine was great. My Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. I don't know if you guys got to check that out, but yes, that was an amazing game. Even the halftime show, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, honestly, I couldn't even pay attention to the songs because I kept staring at Rihanna's belly like, is she having another baby? But yeah, all in all, great weekend. Happy to be back. Please take this opportunity to subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Share the link out and give us a thumbs up. Really appreciate that. Help out that algorithm. So today I am picking right back up on my journey of restarting my crypto education. So if you were here with me last week, you guys know that I went through the whole process of choosing a wallet. I did finally settle on the Trezor. I went ahead and ordered it on Saturday. So we'll see how long it takes for it to arrive. I did follow Papa B's advice. I did not order from Amazon like I wanted to. It probably would have been here already had I done it. But I definitely understood Papa B's point as far as eliminating another middleman, right? If something was to happen with my wallet and I took issue with Trezor, the very fact that I bought it from their store on Amazon could make me have to interact with Amazon as opposed to interacting straight with the manufacturer. So for that reason, I felt like it was worth the wait to go ahead and endure the 4 or 5 days of shipping that I have to wait for now to get my new Trezor. Hopefully it's here by Thursday because I have HEX Hex that will be on the stream with me on Thursday, and he will go through the setup process of my new Trezor. And then from there, I will need to throw some money on there. I'm going to need to on-ramp some fiat. And so that is what today's show is all about. I have a guest here with me today. He is the CEO of Vibra Finance. Pretty much anytime you catch Vibra Finance in the chat, he's got some amazing things to say, like great tips and strategies. So when I started thinking about who I wanted to invite on to talk about centralized exchanges and on and off ramping fiat, to me it was a no-brainer. So thank you, Adam, for joining me today. I look forward to getting into this conversation. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. That was super nice, the introduction. Really appreciate it. And excited to be here and talk about our beloved centralized exchanges and on and off ramps.
Yes, the necessary evil in crypto, as I like to say. I'm gonna say hello to the chat. I see HEX Hex. I always appreciate his support. I know that he is grinding it out every day in his studio, either streaming or creating content. So the fact that he took a couple minutes out to come and join me and us while we go through this lesson, really appreciate him. So just for the audience, the people out there who, you are new to, they don't know your background, your story. Tell us a little bit about how you got into crypto, how long you've been in the space and the work that you do.
Yeah. So I got into crypto in 2017, right at the end of the bull market in like November. And I was playing poker out in Vegas and just had been hearing about it for months. And these kids were making a lot of money and just degened into Chainlink, watched it run up and right back down. And then just, was like done with it. And then found it again in early 2019. And from there, it was like, okay, I took some time, researched it, heard about HEX, and got into the adoption amplifier, ended up getting my wallet hacked from that. So, I've done pretty much everything wrong you could do in crypto. So from all the negatives and, getting hacked and the no-nos, you start to learn and grow. And from there, ended up starting Vibra Finance 2 years ago. And we've been doing crypto consulting and just trying to help onboard people into crypto the right way. And starting with what, like you were talking about, your Trezor, a hardware wallet, and, safety first.
Absolutely. So then if you're doing consulting, then I think that's one of the things that I've always respected about you in the space is that you've kind of always kept your eye on a lot of different projects. And I'm guessing that's because people come to you looking for advice, looking for information, and they've already kind of dibbled and dabbled in different things. So then you kind of have to understand what they're doing in order to, help them move forward. Would that be like a correct assumption?
Exactly. It'd be like if you heard about, something, investment, and you would never knew anything, heard about it, and you went and talked to somebody and they just said, just take all your money and put it into this one thing. That's it. It's all you got to do. And you'd kind of sit back and be like, well, I was researching all these other things and they look kind of cool. And so it kind of forced me to have a knowledge of just the other layer ones out there at the time, understanding what DeFi was early in 2020 when HEX was launching. So just meeting with people and seeing their portfolios, what coins they were invested in, why, you start to pick up on narratives. And over the last couple of years, the last bull run, they changed from DeFi and metaverse, and to now it's AI is the latest trend, and it's constantly evolving. So it's almost my job to stay on top of that and kind of have a feel for the industry as a whole and kind of focus on stuff like the ISO standards that are coming, tokenization of assets. There's a bunch of different niches in the market, gaming, that I like to stay on top of because I think they're going to be really big in the future.
Absolutely. So, today's topic is centralized exchanges and kind of going through the different options we have for on and off ramping fiat. What was the first tool or exchange that you used when you were first coming in? Was Coinbase like your first exchange?
The first exchange I used, it was actually Ethos way back in the day. And they actually, I think Ethos, they just closed their wallet like within the last year, I believe. So it was through that. And then my first exchange was actually Bitstamp, because New York up here where we are is so strict with the laws that we couldn't use Kraken or Voyager or even Coinbase at first. So it kind of really limited us. So it was Bitstamp and Gemini primarily.
Okay. So yeah, you sent me a little write-up of some things that we can kind of go through and talk about today. So for me personally, the only exchange I've ever really used is Coinbase. And, and it's really just because that was, I guess, how I got initiated or onboarded into crypto. I was playing poker at the time, and that was the only way that you could exchange. Like that was the only way you could play online. I don't know if you remember when they made it so that you could no longer transact with dollars, playing online poker. But that is how I kind of got into crypto, is because I wanted to keep playing poker. And they were like, oh, all you have to do is download this thing called Coinbase, buy some Bitcoin, send it over here. So I've basically been using Coinbase ever since. And for the most part, it's just to buy either Ethereum or USDC. And then I also have used crypto.com so that I could buy BNB, because Coinbase does not offer that Binance coin. But I'm not familiar at all with Bitstamp, Gemini, or Kraken. Actually, the only times I've even heard the names like Gemini and Kraken is when in public or on Twitter, you hear, oh, there's another problem with another exchange. So maybe you could tell me a little bit about possibly, I'd say maybe let's start with Bitstamp. And then maybe you can speak to, your use of using this exchange, what issues you've ran into, or why it is that you would, recognize or recommend this one.
Definitely. So Bitstamp was, like I said, New York, the legislation, the laws here are very strict. And Bitstamp was, I believe, the first to get their license here. So we were very limited. And I really liked Bitstamp because they never offered any earn, any staking. It was only buying and selling. So they weren't leveraging anything like Voyager was, like Gemini, like what Kraken was. So just the fact that they were just a simple exchange, didn't offer anything but a very small selection of coins. And I honestly, because they had XRP, XLM, and Hedera and some coins on there that were very hard to get in 2019 and 2020. So that kind of was the reason that I focused on Bitstamp. And to this day, still, I've never had one person or myself have any problems with it. So that's why, for people that are getting started, that just want an easy on and off ramp, simplicity, we recommend, Bitstamp to them.
Absolutely. So you've had no issues, works essentially just like Coinbase, where you buy the Ethereum or the USDC, and then you send it from Bitstamp straight to your MetaMask hardware wallet, whatever it is you use.
Exactly. Correct? Yep. And when you're using the exchanges, you always want to, when you go to buy, they conveniently always select the debit card option for you. If you're not paying attention, because that's where they drill you with the most fees. So if you're putting money on, you can most of the time do an ACH or bank transfer and get your dollars on there for free. So you're saving yourself one of the potential fees.
Okay. So I was gonna ask, there were a couple other options, and I guess I should put the stream back up, that you had on our list. We had Kraken and Gemini. What would you say is like the main differences between Bitstamp, Kraken, and Gemini? Like, are there any advantages to using one over the other?
Yeah, so I would say primarily the difference is the selection of coins.
Okay.
And so Kraken is, I would say, the number one. They have the most features. You can go on there. They have trading view built in. You can, all the degen stuff you can do inside Kraken. And you can't do that with Gemini or with Bitstamp, or I don't believe you can do it with Coinbase either. I don't use Coinbase really at all, so I'm not familiar with it. But the problem with Gemini is that they had an earn program where, like what Richard says, not your keys, not your crypto. So they offered 2, 3, 4, up to 7% on your coins, but you had to give them to a third party. And sure enough, their third party collapsed and they lost $1 billion. So anyone that had money in the earn program lost it immediately. And now you have to start a Binance US account to even file a claim to get it back. So there's massive risks that putting money on a Gemini, for example, versus Bitstamp, where you can't even do that. You subconscious, you don't even realize that you could be losing money on this safe exchange, just getting a couple percent interest.
Right.
So that's what I would say is the difference. What are you looking to do? If you just want to get on and off, the simpler it is, I would lean towards Bitstamp. If you're looking to trade and a wide variety of coins, that's what Kraken and Gemini are more for.
Okay. And even with those wide variety of coins, you still have the ability to send them off of the platform. So it's essentially like if you just want that easier route of buying it on the exchange as opposed to buying ETH USDC, putting it in your wallet, then using a DEX to get into some of those smaller coins.
Exactly. And some of them, it's really weird. Like an altcoin I own, LCX. It's an exchange out of Europe. It's an exchange token. It's an ERC20, but there's no liquidity for it on Uniswap anywhere. And they have it on Kraken listed. So there's some really weird examples where you'd think that these ERC20s would be on Uniswap, but they're not. So it's nice to know, oh wow, there is an exchange out there that has some of these lower cap altcoins that people are talking about or eyeing.
Yeah. So what about like the fees? Because I know in using Coinbase that there's typically no fee to buy USDC. It's dollar for dollar. It's not until you swap into like Ethereum that you start seeing fees. Of course, there's a fee to send it, right? To send it from the exchange into your wallet. But as far as like a sometimes, and we'll kind of talk about buying crypto through the wallet platforms, but a lot of those type of platforms have like a built-in 2% fee, 4% fee, 7% fee, whatever it is. Do any of the exchanges require those type of fees to make purchases using your bank account?
If you use a debit card, they do. Like if you don't take that step and load your money into dollars and have it on the account, and you go straight from buying $100 of Ethereum, you're gonna get nailed with that massive fee. And then when you go to withdraw it, you're gonna get hit again. But if once you have your US dollars on the exchange itself, and you want to buy Bitcoin, for example, I know with Gemini, they charge $2.99 every $100. That's their fee. But if you go into a limit order, it's 1%. But if you don't know to go switch it from market to limit order and put the current price in there, you just go and you click a market buy. So that they get you on double the fees without you even knowing it. So just these little things like that can save you a lot of money in the long term if you don't even know that limit orders were available to begin with, because they hide it so well.
Absolutely. And which exchange was that where you can set the limit order and then it save you in the fees?
Gemini and Kraken.
Okay, so both of those two. But Bitstamp, you wouldn't need to do that.
I honestly, I haven't done it on Bitstamp, but I'm pretty sure they have it too. I'm not. Don't quote me on that 100% because I've only done loaded money on USDC and then just bought market buys.
Right. And so I know we're gonna next talk about buying it straight from like a wallet, but I think maybe the main difference in buying from the exchange and then from the wallet may be KYC. Is that correct? Do they KYC when you buy from like straight into a wallet and pay those high fees, or is that like a central exchange, thing?
So yeah, just like Staker app that all us Hexicans use, you can use the fund button in there, and you use the third party app, and all of those are like a premium service. So in order to save the 5 days, for example, if you're using your bank to load money on an exchange, 5 business days, if you do that on like a Wednesday, it could sometimes stretch out to the following Monday till that clears. So that if people don't realize that too, they want to get it on and off, but it doesn't clear, your money's stuck on there. So with these apps that like Staker app and some of these other ones, you do have to KYC to use it, but it's instantaneous, so you can send the money off right away. But with the exchanges, that's kind of when you use your debit card and you pay that massive fee, it lets you I know on Gemini, at least, it lets you have access to your funds, whereas right away. So even though you get drilled with the fees, you can move it off and not have to wait. So I guess there is kind of some advantages to paying that fee, but if you can avoid it, 100% just wait a couple days and then send it off.
Yeah. For the most part, I've used Coinbase, and so I do have the debit card set up, right? But now they use that thing. I think it's called like Plaid or something, where essentially you just log into your bank account from the app, and then it attaches to your bank account, and then you're able to make purchases or withdraw. When it's set up like that, typically, if it's under like a couple $100, then they give you access to it like right away. The more money it is, the longer that they're gonna hold it before you can send it off of the platform. So yeah, that's pretty much the standard for Coinbase as far as like holding your funds. Now, from my experience, every exchange I've ever signed up for, I've had to KYC. And if you don't know what KYC is, it essentially means know your customer. So they're going to essentially draw your blood type. They want to know like everything about you, including like send in a picture of your driver's license, now use the facial recognition and turn this way and like all of it, right? But I've never had to do that for a wallet. So let me bring up some of these wallets that you have mentioned that I've never even heard of. So I'm kind of interested to learn a little bit more about these, like Lobster Wallet. So tell me a little bit about Lobster Wallet.
Yeah, so Lobster Wallet is XLM's Stellar Lumen's native wallet. So how I would basically say Staker app is Hex's native wallet. Mm-hmm. That's what Lobster is for XLM. And I really like them because 4 years ago, Ripple, who is being sued now by the SEC, they bought out MoneyGram because MoneyGram was going under, and they used them as a pilot for their new cross-border payments, their on-demand liquidity. It was a test run to see how it worked. And all of a sudden, after a year, they doubled the company's revenue. The stock went up like crazy, and XLM bought it. Ripple sold it to them and took over. And now if you open the app, it actually has MoneyGram, right in there. So they are now the new MoneyGram, XLM. So anytime you see MoneyGram in Walmart or anywhere, that's now running on XLM. You can walk in there and take your phone. And so I could put $100 on there, and within 2 seconds, it's in the account. You could pick it up anywhere in the world if I send it to you.
Wow.
And it's basically Western Union in real time now through your phone. And it's what crypto was meant to be, in my opinion. No bank, no middlemen, peer to peer. And that's what XLM is doing in the real world, the kind of the micro payments, the peer-to-peer settlement. And it was just another app. And I'm all about custodying my own crypto. And before I had all the ledgers and the engraves, I had my coins in the native wallets for each asset. And now with them, they have MoneyGram built right in. So just like with Staker app, you can go in and through Banksa or MoonPay, they're two different apps. You can go and have fiat right in your wallet and circumvent the exchanges completely.
So is Stellar a whole new layer one? Like, like there's Ethereum, there's Binance. Is Stellar its own chain as well?
Yes. Yeah, Stellar's their own. Yep, they're their own blockchain.
Okay, and so does this wallet function with Ethereum as well?
Nope, it only functions on XLM. And the reason I like it though is because the fees to send XLM, it's fractions of a penny. If you're sending $1 or $1 million, it's 0.00015. It's XLM to send. So it's so cheap and it's so fast. That's why you see MoneyGram using them now in real life, because they're now the one to beat. That they went from a failing company to this new technology that these companies offer and the instant settlement. And now you see in real time, in real life, you know, the stuff we were talking about years ago is actually here.
Right. So, but if you're only, you know, utilizing the Ethereum network, then this is not an option for you. This is really just if you're dabbling into that Stellar chain.
Exactly. And yes, exactly. So the thing for Ethereum, you know, that's what MetaMask is, but they don't have that really built into it. That's where, you know, if say Richard came out with a wallet and could do all of that in one, you know, there's so you can kind of see where this is evolving to.
Right. Well, that might end up being the internet money wallet. I love what KG and his team are working on to create a native post chain wallet where when you are making these purchases straight through the wallet, right, you know that there are fees that are associated. And typically with any of these wallets, I'm assuming just go to the company in order to maintain the operation. But in the internet money wallet, from what I understand, if you hold the wallet dividend token, then you're actually essentially like a owner in the company and you're getting a percentage of those fees. So that could be really, really huge for Pulse Chain as we're looking for wallet solutions in the meantime while we wait on Richard Hart to develop whatever he's going to develop.
Yeah, and I honestly I didn't even know that he was doing that, and that is an awesome thing, and I'm actually really excited to hear that because it's needed, and I think if it's done the right way, it'll be so. I can see the need for it.
Oh yeah, they're in beta testing. I am really bullish on the Internet Money Project. I love their community and everything that I've been seeing that KG has been consistently putting out and informing us about through this bear market. Right, like you got to keep building in the bear, and that's what I've definitely been seeing out of them. So tell me a little bit about this Hashpack wallet.
Yeah, so this is kind of how like XLM Hedera Hashgraph. It's another layer one blockchain, and with Ethereum and Hex, they're not interoperable. That's the one problem. But what you can do is you could just buy the USDC on these apps and then just send the USDC anywhere you want. And the thing actually with Stellar that is really cool is if, say, you wanted to buy Ethereum through the Lobster wallet, you can plug in a wallet that you want it sent to if you want the native coin on that chain. So instead of you getting it in the Lobster wallet, you can say, no, I'll pay for it here, but send it to my ledger or send it to this address. So they'll actually go and do that for you, which is a thing that this Hashpack won't do. But I really like Hedera, just their blockchain, because they are partnering. They just signed a deal with Dell Technologies. You know, that's their latest governing council member. So they're working with Google. They're working with Boeing. They're working with Avery Dennison, you know, the biggest companies in the world, to track stuff on supply chains, to track, you know, a water cup, you know, all the ingredients, everything from start to finish, where it was made. You'll be able to see that. So just the whole technology they have and the wallet itself, you know, it's just a way to get around exchanges. You know, they use a different third party to process transactions. So if for some reason you were using Lobster and your bank is saying, no, we're not going to allow this, it's just another option that you can use to potentially get money on or off if your bank's giving you a hard time.
Okay. So let me make sure that I understand because I think you might have said something there that that I didn't catch the first time. So you said that you can with the Lobster wallet buy Ethereum. It's not just the Stellar coins, but I thought it only operated on that chain. So how can you buy Ethereum and then manage to get it to your Ethereum wallet?
So that's it's done through the third party. So
Okay.
when you're using Lobster, if you buy XLM, you'll get XLM native to the actual wallet. But
Mhm.
if you want to buy another coin and you don't want it, actually, like you can buy Ethereum, Bitcoin, all of them on Stellar, and they'll
Mhm.
give you it's the same price, everything. But if
Mhm.
you actually don't want it there and you want it sent to MetaMask or for Ethereum, you have the option to do that. So it
Okay.
gives you both sides. If you want to keep it isolated to that layer one, or if you want to make a purchase through there because you're blocked out and you want Ethereum in your staker app, for example, you could go ahead and have it sent to there through the third party. That's what you're paying the $7% fee for.
Okay. So you have the option. You're just going to pay for it on these apps as opposed to using your Coinbase or, Bitstamp, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
okay. I got you. But is there KYC involved with these wallets?
With the once you with the wallets, you get your seed phrase. It's just like anything else. You own it. But once you use the those apps right there and are purchasing fiat, they require the KYC. So you do have to do it to buy money or transact, but just to use the wallet itself, like this, like Staker app, you just get your private keys, you write them down, and use it just like anything else. But this is for for the rare case where Maddie's bank closes them out, for example, and you have nowhere to go, and you need to get money on, but your way you've always used for some reason doesn't work. This is for the extreme situation. This isn't for the everyday transacting.
Right. And then Zoom Wallet similar to the others, just for XRP.
Exactly. Yep.
Got it. Got
Mhm.
it. And then this last option, I've seen a lot recently. I've seen these like popping up everywhere, every grocery store, Walmart, like everywhere. Have you ever used one of these Bitcoin ATMs?
One time, and it was in Vegas
Okay,
at Resort World.
nice. So did you go, were you putting money in or taking money out? What were you doing?
So I wanted to see just how it worked. I wanted to see if I could go in there with a new MetaMask wallet I had just created and get money on there without putting an ID in there. And
Hmm.
you can actually, they did not require an ID to put money on and send it out. I could not believe it.
So
Yep.
you essentially just deposit money in, insert an address, and then it's done.
Yeah, you can choose. You could. That one was Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and I think Doge. There was 4 options on it, and I actually did Ethereum. I did $100 worth, and I sent it to. I did it on my computer. I started a new. In MetaMask, you can start a new account in your main account up there.
Hmm.
So I just added a new account and went down there, and yeah, I had $100. It was actually after the fee. It was like $94 or something, but it was with maybe 20 minutes max.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, what the fee on something like that would have been.
It was like 6-7%.
Ooh, that's a little pricey. But you have that escape of KYC, which is something that a lot of people are looking for.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's cool to see these things exist.
Hmm.
Where from you hear the horrible things the SEC is trying to do. Well, now for that bad news, there's Bitcoin ATMs opening up everywhere like this that are going to help us in DeFi.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that's a lot to digest. It seems like we have a lot of different options out there. The centralized exchange route, you have your Bitstamps, your Krakens, your Geminis, your Coinbase, or even possibly crypto.com. Do you know if I'm interested in possibly on this next go round, right? I've already been a user of Coinbase. So, this new wallet, this new journey, I'm looking at having a backup option, right? If Coinbase does, for whatever reason, decide to not be active for me or shut me out or something, I want to have a backup exchange or way. So I feel like I'm leaning towards Bitstamp because you guys seem to have some positive things to say about it. What was my question? I kind of forgot my question about Bitstamp. Yeah, and I really lost my train of thought. That's crazy. Um,
Our Bitstamp, yeah, honestly, Bitstamp, they have offices around the world. So when I see that, that makes me confident that they're not reliant on the United States. So
mhm.
if things didn't work out, they were not just going to pull the plug and panic. They have, because they're operating everywhere else. It's not, I don't think there's much pressure. Whereas if you're a United States based exchange, you solely operate here, something like that could cripple you. Well, they have the rest of the world to operate in. So I feel comfortable with them. I mean, nobody knows, with how things are going, but if you're smart, you get money, you only use them for what you need them for. They, like you said, they're the necessary evil.
Right. Okay, so I do remember my question now because you had kind of told me that Kraken and Gemini are like more degen spaces where they just have a lot more coins listed and whatnot. But for me, I really only use the exchange to buy those native tokens. So does Bitstamp have access to like all the different chain native tokens? For example, I know that I can get Matic off of Coinbase. And then I know that I can get BNB off of crypto.com. Do you know if Bitstamp has all those different native tokens, or is it primarily just Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDC?
They do. It's actually kind of weird because they have the smallest selection by far, but it's unique. It's coins that aren't on any of the other exchanges, like Hedera Hashgraph. They have Quant on there. I think they do have Binance. They have XLM. So they do have a unique variety. I don't know how they got the selection they did, but it's not just your standard top 20 list that you would think. They have some coins that are tough to get, and honestly, they're the only exchanges that in New York you could get them on.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, then I'm definitely going to have to go through their website or their information to see if all the coins that I interact with are easily available. Because, like I said, for the most part, I'm just buying native tokens. I'm buying Ethereum, Matic, and BNB, right? And then that's just so that I can send them to their wallets and then play on some kind of DEX with them.
Yeah. For sure. I don't, let me just, I'm positive they would have, yeah, they have Matic. They do. Yeah. So they have basically all the layer ones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay. So
Yeah.
look, there we go. I think Bitstamp is a legitimate backup option for me today. I think that was very thorough. I think the only other way, and I know I'm going to be discussing this a lot tomorrow with X-Ray Vision, would be peer-to-peer transactions as a way to get into crypto and possibly get out of crypto. Do you know if there's like legislation involved or any risks involved with just, like me just saying, hey, I got 500 bucks. You happen to have 500 USDC. Is that an option just to be able to send that to you and then you send it back? Or are we opening ourselves up to some type of like laundering issues or anything like that?
Honestly, my gut would say by law, I'm sure it probably is illegal, but I think that stuff is treated just like cash is, because that library case, I know that they said that the token itself could be a security, but secondary sales of people transacting it, that's not a security. So just us doing it between ourselves, I would say it's just like it's a cryptocurrency, right? It's a digital asset. I think it's the same thing as me doing a bank transfer, or sending you $50 from PayPal. I would look at it almost like that. And until there's laws saying otherwise, I think they're currencies, and they're meant to be used like that.
Absolutely. And I think that kind of speaks to what you mentioned in the green room about how important it is for us to be active on the local legislation level, right? In the political arena, to be able to voice our opinions about what should be acceptable and how, laws are created that protect the cryptocurrency environment.
Yeah. And someone who was telling me that, if you write a letter, that these days, these guys, everyone's just getting emails or voice messages. Nobody takes the time to handwrite a letter anymore. So if you take if 100 Hexicans said, you know what, on this day, we're all going to write a letter to our local politicians. We're going to take the time and do it. Just getting a letter, and if you haven't gotten one in months and you're a politician, I think you might remember that, or it might just stay on your mind for a little bit. So I think it's super important just to get out there, let people know DeFi is important. If you make the mistake and kind of handcuff legislation now and enforcement, not by letting the system grow and flourish, we're setting ourselves up for people to just flee and go elsewhere.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you coming here today and sharing your wealth of knowledge. I definitely feel that I'm making a more informed decision now when I go and choose my newest centralized exchange, my necessary evil. Just so you know, if you are new to crypto, and you heard this conversation about us using the centralized exchange to buy crypto, we have no intention of keeping our crypto on that centralized exchange. This is just the way in and then possibly the way out. Never store your crypto on centralized exchange, because then that's when you get into situations like, the FTX issue where your money's just gone. If they go bankrupt or if they just pull down the site, you're not interacting with the chain where you have, another way around. I think that that's something that always attracted me to Hex, was that, for me, just the internet space and what it can do is also like new. Like, we didn't grow up with all this. Like, kids kind of grew up with cell phones in their hand. So when you start explaining stuff to them, they're like, oh, obviously that makes sense. But for me, it was like every little piece has to be completely explained, and just now understanding how important it is to, have custody over your crypto is like the overarching lesson. Because when I was buying crypto on like Robinhood, and I wanted to make a quick sell or buy or whatever when prices were fluctuating, what happened? They just shut you off. They just cut it off, where you had no access. You couldn't make a trade this way or that way. And that is my biggest fear, is that, when I want it, when I need it, I won't have access to it. And so we want to try to eliminate, those middlemen from controlling our money, and that we control our own money. And so once again, thank you for being with me here today. Before we wrap up, if you want to share with the audience where they can find you, follow up with you if they have, interest in your consulting services or just anything else that you have coming up on the horizon, please go ahead and share that with us.
Yeah. I mean, I want kind of just what you were saying there with that Robinhood example. When you want it most and things are gone, you panic. So to have a backup plan now and set up a Bitstamp or a Kraken account, whatever it is, it's so important to do that now. My mom got banned from Gemini 2 months ago because she went on, tried to withdraw ETH and couldn't figure out her Authy app and submitted it 3 times. And it froze the transaction. And after going back and forth, they just shut down her account and said, you're done, withdraw all your money. So just like that, she was done. So my mom, who doesn't even know how to do crypto, got banned from Gemini. So luckily she had, a backup exchange. But if you don't have that, it can set you back so far. So get yourself a backup plan and even a backup plan, because you never know. Crypto, always expect the unexpected. So I just wanted to say that, and it's super important to just have that backup plan for safety. You'll sleep much better at night. And social medias, Vibra Finance on Twitter, Vibra Finance on YouTube, and also look up Lindsay the Hexican. She's got an awesome workbook for onboarding new people into crypto. That's what we're trying to do, is get people in safely, securely, get your hardware wallet, do it step by step at your own pace, and go from there.
That was great advice. That was really, really great advice. You always need a backup plan for the backup plan, especially in a space like this that is so new and totally under that watchful eye. And we know that legislation will continue to change and evolve. So you just want to be prepared for whatever comes your way. So thank you guys again for being in the chat. Thank you, Hex Siren, for being with us. We appreciate the kind words. Everybody else, even those of you on replay, if you felt this stream to be helpful, please go ahead and give that a like, a share, and all that other good stuff. Until we see you guys next time, that is the end of our show today. I will be back tomorrow with Hex Ray Vision, talking more deeply into peer-to-peer transactions and how we interact with each other as crypto users. And then on Wednesday, we will have Walrus here to kind of talk about stablecoins and their place in this cryptocurrency environment. Once again, thank you, Adam, for joining me, and all of you guys in the chat for being here. Have a good day.